All right, we're gonna talk about what's up in the sky. Lots of big, white, fluffy clouds. Actually, they're not all big, white, and fluffy. All of our clouds actually can change, and there's many, many different types of clouds, and we're gonna talk about that a bit today. Clouds form in a lot of different ways, but our clouds are made out of water vapor. So that vapor rises. So you see the water behind us here. This is actually brackish water. So this water is a mix of salt and fresh water. And as the water evaporates and rises, it actually will attach to things in the sky. Some really, really tiny particles, whether that's dust or smoke or even salt spray. It attracts that water and those water molecules, and they condense. And that's how our clouds form. These clouds can be different heights in the sky, different shapes, different sizes, and they move along with the wind. They can even be different colors.
Most of the time, clouds look white, and that is because when the sunlight passes through them, all of those water droplets are reflecting different colored wavelengths of light. And when all the different colored wavelengths of light come together, they form white light, which is why the clouds look white. When clouds look gray, that's because they've become so dense and so thick with so many water droplets that the light can't pass through and be reflected anymore, and so the light is actually being absorbed, and that's why they look gray.
Clouds can tell us a lot about our weather just by observing what they look like. There are 4 main types of clouds that we're going to talk about today.
Cirrus clouds are thin and wispy. They kind of look like feathers or hair. They usually show up when we have nice sunny weather. Stratus clouds kind of look like layers and layers of blankets on top of each other and tend to kind of cover the whole sky. They are usually a sign that rainy weather is ahead.
Cumulus clouds are what we think most often when we think of clouds, usually forming big, puffy shapes in the sky. These clouds are tall on top and flat on the bottom. They usually give way to very fair weather and sometimes rain. Nimbus means rain in Latin. Most of the time, these clouds are very tall in the sky and give way to bad weather, such as tornadoes, lightning, and heavy rains. Let's go to the lab!
Hey guys, so today we'll be making our very own clouds. What you'll need is some hot water. We just heated ours up in the microwave, a glass jar with a lid, some ice, and some sort of like aerosol. We have this apple cinnamon Glade air freshener. It smells really good. So first what we're gonna do is take the hot water and pour it into the jar, just like a couple of inches into the jar. And there's gonna be some spilling, and that's okay. And then really quickly, you wanna take your air freshener and spray it into the jar and cover it like really quickly. And doing all of this quickly just helps keep the warm water warmer for longer. Then you'll take some ice and put it right on top of the lid, just like a few pieces. And you're pretty much done at this point. So now what we're looking for is inside of the jar, you're probably gonna see some like wisps start to form. And I'll hold it up. It's probably easier to do this, like to see this in front of a dark backdrop. And I'll turn it. Yeah. And so once you kind of see some wisps forming, you can go ahead and take off the lid. Chaos may ensue. And there you go. You've got some clouds forming, coming out your jar. Now you've made your very own clouds.
Woo! That experiment was really cool, but I do have some questions.
All right.
So, why did we need to use hot water?
Well, we needed hot water to represent water that's basically on the land on Earth. So what water does is when it heats up, it evaporates, meaning it turns into water vapor. And that water vapor rises up into the atmosphere. So that's why we had to use hot water, so it would rise up in our jar.
Oh, cool. And then why did we need to use ice at the top of our jar?
We needed ice at the top because as this water vapor in the atmosphere rises up, it starts to cool the higher it gets. So we needed the water in the jar to rise up and cool. And once it reaches the coolest point, it actually condenses, meaning it turns from water vapor, which is air or gas, back into its liquid state of just regular liquid water.
Cool. So if clouds are mostly water vapor, why did we need this aerosol spray?
We needed this spray to represent particles that are in the atmosphere because clouds are not just water. They're actually water and things like dust or tiny little particles that might be in the air. So the spray represents the little particles.
Oh, cool. Thanks for sharing.
Thanks for asking.
Try going outside and observing some of the clouds. Maybe draw what they look like, look at their colors and their shapes, how tall they are and where they are in the sky, and see if you can make a prediction about what the weather may be later in the day. Here, it looks like we have quite a few cumulus clouds, big puffy clouds high in the sky, and it looks like we will have nice sunny weather for the rest of the day.